Doing?
Yeah, good man, good.
Hey, did you watch the game that we just had against Panthers?
I don't want to talk about the game that we decided against Panthers.
Ah, I haven't watched it. I just woke up like 20 minutes ago. Um, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and you're going to fill me in and kind of where we
Yep.
went well, where we didn't go so well. I saw the score and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" But
You
before
know
we
what's
do that,
Yep.
introduce yourself, man. Like, who are you? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Kind of when
All
you
right.
started following West Tigers, maybe who your favorite player is, things like that.
So I live in North Queensland. I live up in Townsville, so home of the Cowboys. I was indoctrinated, I like to say, from a very early age by a family friend. I was given like a big West Tigers mural from the '05 grand final that they had from that year. So like player signatures and stuff on it, and just given a tons of gear. And from I think it was probably about 4 or 5 at the time, so just after the grand final. So that's when I started following the Tigers, and then I got into footy, played a bunch of junior footy, and then as you know, when you really like your footy, you start watching the NRL, and it's kind of how it is, eh? So
Hey, that's awesome, mate. That is so sick. And then I see some computer components behind you. Do you build computers,
I
games, things like
do,
that?
I
Cool,
do
man.
hardcore gamer, hardcore computer nerd. I build stuff and do stuff in my spare time. Got shelves and
Sick.
shelves of stuff in the house. So
Dude, that's awesome. Have you been playing much of the new rugby league game?
I actually bought it and then I refunded it on Steam. Uh, and then
It's it's a little buggy, that's for sure. I'm not gonna lie. Cool. Well, let's get into it. So
yep.
let's start, I mean, with the elephant in the room, the Panthers game. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but can you fill me in kind of where did we go wrong? I saw we only came out with 2 points. I'm guessing
Yep.
that was a penalty kick.
It was.
Walk me through that game and kind of how it all went down.
So personally, I know we're playing Penrith, and I know it's technically a home game for Penrith, even though with everything with home grounds. But I feel like we definitely shouldn't have taken that penalty goal early on, because at the start of the game, honestly, we were going for set for a bit. They were matching us a little bit better than we were, so they were making a little bit further down. But when we got down on their line, got the penalty, we had a little bit of ascendancy. So I feel like we probably should have just gone and actually attacked the line as opposed to
Hmm.
letting them reset and taking 2 points. Um, and then pretty much they started getting on top physically in the first half. Uh, you know how it is with with Penrith,
Yeah,
with Yo
yeah.
and Cleary on the front foot. And then they were just a lot better than us. So they got down our line, they capitalized, and we gave away some silly errors and some silly penalties, and
Okay.
went into halftime 18-2. I think the last try. I'm not going to blame the ref, but I was very confident that that was a forward pass. But again, Skelton and I want to say it was Toa didn't make the tackle on back on the inside, so I can't really complain about that too much. I guess.
Gotcha. Okay. So a bit of a
Yeah,
brutal one. Um,
yeah.
how did our captain do? How did Jerome Luai do? How did Appy do? If you had to sum it up.
I feel like Luai wanted to come out and play a good game. But I personally think he probably let it get to him a little bit too much. He gave away a few silly penalties and stuff. Like there was one towards the end of the game where it was they had made a tackle on Liam Martin, and Martin obviously wants to play the ball quick, but like Jerome's just like yanked his leg up in the air and pulled him off the mark and just given away a penalty, which got him all the way down the field again. And
Okay.
I kind of stopped tuning into the game at that point. Appy, I don't think he did anything too bad. It was just kind of on what Appy does, trying to make runs, trying to get the boys forward.
Hmm.
But I think Jerome, he definitely tried to like involve himself in the game, but I think it probably got to him a little bit too much, and then everything kind of just went out of the control. I reckon just kind of
Okay.
went downhill.
Gotcha. Got yeah. That seems to be the common theme. Hey, once there's one error or one mistake, it just seems to snowball effect, and I just
Oh
feel like
yeah,
we've got to figure out a way to get out of that harsh cycle. Now, looking at the stats from the game. Looks like Panthers had an 88% completion rate. We only had an 83, but that's a little bit higher than we had last game. What was our attacking structure and form looking like? Were we completing good sets and, getting our ball across the back line? What was that all looking like?
it was looking good up until fifth.
Okay.
So like our like kicking out of our end sets was okay. Jerome had a good boot in him. I think Edwards caught most of them on the 20 to 25 until we started getting pinged on our own line a little bit. But it was definitely just the fish tackle stuff. So we were spreading the ball a lot. We were getting out of our own end, funnily enough, by spreading the ball.
Hmm.
And then that kind of went on for about 50, 60 minutes. And then it just got bad after that. We just started having some more errors and it just, Tigers footy. You know how it is.
Yeah, right, right. I know how it goes, mate. I know how
Yeah,
it goes. We had
exactly.
we had 30 tackle breaks. They had 47. We had
Yep.
only one line break. They had seven, and then
Yep.
we had 670 post contact meters. They had 727. What was our forward pack doing? What was like Terrell May, Fonua Pole, those guys doing?
Attacking wise, I think Terrell was just doing Terrell things. Taking his like early hit ups. I will
Hmm.
say one of the commentators did point it out. The fifth tackle hit ups that Terrell makes doesn't real like the ones in the game anyways. Didn't doesn't really have any like direction. He kind of just takes the hit up to have
Hmm.
the tackle. So there was about 4 or 5 times in the game where the ball was just kind of passed to him. We've made maybe a meter on the set, and then Penrith are kind of just set back and they get kick pressure. Polly was good. There's a few times where he's tried to hit, like, put a decent shot on someone. I think it was Martin, and he's kind of just slipped through, as opposed to just wrapping the tackle itself, just kind of slipped
Hmm.
through. And but again, when you're chasing points, you need to try and turn the game over. So you need to do things like
Absolutely,
that. Yeah.
for sure.
So it's a bit tough, but it is what it is.
Right, right. Yeah, man. It's so hard because like when we're firing on all cylinders, we've seen what we can do, right? Like
Oh,
we've beat
absolutely.
some great teams this year, like, and to
Mm.
get this kind of loss, like this drastic, like that, it says something about there's something more here that it's not just we're not clicking. Like I'm looking at the stats here again, and I'm guessing our defensive game was the thing that lapsed. We had 47 missed tackles. We had 15 ineffective tackles. Our
Yep.
effective tackle efficiency was only 86%, when we really should be pushing high 80s to 90s. But then our errors were 10. We had 10 errors. Like, again, this is just like a cycle. We make those errors, we let tackles slip, and I feel like that's what's costing us. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like the boys just they uh they should start having a memory of a goldfish where they should just make the error that's happened, just move on. But I feel like it sits with a few of them a
Yeah.
bit too much, and then they get like frustration sets in, and then another error happens, and it just ends up spiraling and snowballing, and it's not fun to watch.
No,
Nah.
absolutely not. Well, man, I'm gonna watch the game after our chat, but just wanted to get your thoughts on it. So yeah, thanks for breaking it all down for me. We'll move into more just some questions I have for you. How are you feeling about this lineup, despite our loss just now? Um, Maybe let's start at the start of the season. How are you feeling seeing our lineup? And then how are you feeling now, just with most of the season pretty much finished for us?
At the start of the season, I like the lineup. I'm a massive Buller fan. I think he's awesome. I was really keen for Jerome and Galvin. Sorry, he who shall not be
Hey,
named. I should
it's all
say.
good.
I
It's all
should
good.
say. I was really keen for that. Obviously, things happened, and then as soon as Latu was back on the cards, and then obviously with the broken hand or the broken thumb and everything, I was pretty excited still. But now, as the season's gone on, and with do we move into 13, which is something that I've wanted to see all year. I commented all the time, and I'm like, please move Dewey to 13, like please. And then we signed TAYLAN May, and I thought it was going to happen, and it's taken a little while. I'm actually pretty happy. I like the line. I like Taruva at fullback. I think he had. I want to take a guesstimation, probably like 26, 27 runs tonight. I like him at fullback a lot.
Dang.
But I understand that with when Buller comes back, obviously Taruva's going to go back out to the wing. Buller's going to slot back in. I really would like another forward, um, something like a Junior Paulo, like a mold
Hmm.
like that, like a big body, kind of like another Pole or something like that, or a little bit more experience in the middle. Because even though Terrell's awesome, I feel like it's just Twal that leads the pack in the middle. He's probably the most experienced one out there at the moment,
Hmm.
and I feel like sometimes we get a little bit too loose around the
Yeah.
middle, and we miss tackles, and then this doesn't seem like there's a lot of chat out there. So I would like a little bit more experience in the middle. But other than that, I do like the lineup. I think it's been pretty good.
Sick. Sick. Yeah, with the middle, man. What are your thoughts on Kai Pearce-Paul coming over next year?
I love Guy Pearceville personally. I play fantasy, so
Ah,
I was one of the guys in my fantasy group. has had Kai Pierce-Paul for ages and a massive Kai Pierce-Paul fan. As soon as I saw he signed up the Tigers, I was ecstatic. I wouldn't be opposed, depending on how Dewey's contract situation goes. If he ends up leaving, you maybe move safe after 13, and then you fit Kai Pierce-Paul into the edge and play Twali in the middle like we have. I like that because I feel like Seyfarth plays is a bit of a ball playing forward a little bit more as
Mm.
opposed to Twali does. But I'm very, very keen because him and Fainu are going to be an awesome edge combination, I reckon.
Oh man, it's gonna be electric. And then you look at Taylor May and Jarrell Skelton on that edge too. Like, oh my
He's a
goodness,
monster. TAYLAN
dude.
May is a monster.
Isn't it crazy? How were you
He's
feeling when
awesome.
you heard when you heard that he was getting signed? I know a lot of people were super skeptical, but I'm like, he knows how to play great footy, and I
Yeah.
mean, clearly shows. How did he do last night?
Oh, he was awesome. It was
Okay.
it was honestly, attacking wise, probably our best, I think, just with ball in hand. Um, everything that happened positively for us seemed to happen around his side and around
Mm.
him, whether he's running through or he's actually got the ball and making space. So yeah, I've been nothing but excited and ecstatic when he's been playing. So I've been pretty keen
Sick.
for that.
That's so sick. And now, if you were Benji, are you adding any more people into our mix? As you know, we just re-signed Jock Madden back into it,
Yep.
our 2021 half that went off to play with the Broncos. So I'm excited about that. But are you adding anyone back in that's, external, or are you going internal into our juniors and our pathways?
I like Kit a lot. I would be playing Kit over Jack Bird,
Yeah,
personally.
me too, mate.
Uh,
Me too.
I don't. I don't want to talk about Birdie. I love Birdie because my dad was a massive Shark supporter, so that 2016 final and everything with Birdie, been a fan, but I think he's a bit past it. I think at this stage in his career,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we need a little bit of youth in the pack, as opposed to like a just set experience. But I think Birdie's probably a bit past it nowadays.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Kit's a solid option, man. Like him and his brother, I think
Mm,
I think Kit's a little further along and he's ready to start playing a little more first grade. I think
yeah.
Luke's still just got a few more things to touch up and then we'll see him in there. But overall that's just my opinion. Who's the most underrated player you would say to you this year?
In the 17 in general.
Yep. Just
Um,
just our
ooh,
week to week.
I know he got dropped this week, but I loved what Staines was doing.
Okay.
Because I feel like in reserve grade, his bringing the ball back was probably his weak. He's not a really big winger, but I feel like he started bringing it back with a little bit of intent.
Hmm.
When we were playing. Um, and honestly, Tito, I feel like just because we signed him from Penrith, there was obviously the big thing about him, but I feel like he's probably been one of our best all year.
For
I
sure.
really like Tito. Yeah.
Definitely. And then who do you think's made the most like growth and kind of, learnt the most this year?
Ooh. I want to say Terrell because it's a new system, but I know he was a gun forward anyway coming into said system. Um, but as much as he was quiet tonight, I think Latu's probably been the
Hmm.
one that's developed probably the most. Funnily enough, when Luai wasn't on the field in previous games when he had played, he looks like he commands the team around. But when obviously Luai's a bit back, obviously he's a bit more of a voice. He's a little bit quieter, like he was quieter last game.
Hmm.
But I still feel like he's probably made the most growth, even after the injury and everything.
Sick. No, that's awesome. And then we're gonna go positive and then negative. Actually, no, let's flip it. Let's go negative then positive.
Yep.
What's like one thing that we're doing this year that you think is really hindering our wins and our season from being a top 8 season?
Um, it's hard with this season just because of a lot of the off-field stuff. So it's kind of hard to completely blame something. But one on-field thing that always seems to hinder us is definitely just not forgetting mistakes,
Mm.
just not moving on from mistakes, and just like getting on with the game. Like, yeah, you make a mistake, so what? Just move on with it. Make it back twice over and help the team out as opposed to letting it get you down. I feel like that's probably been the worst because we just compound errors all the time, and no other
Mm.
team really does it. Like look at like a team like Melbourne, they'll make a mistake and then they'll score 2 or 3 times until their next mistake. So it's probably the most frustrating thing I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then positively, what do you think we've been doing really, really well this year? Because I mean, historically, our losses are normally big losses, and normally losses like this, and normally losses like
Yep.
Melbourne Storm. This year, they've only been within 1, 2 point, like, or 1, 2 tries. That's a huge improvement for us. And I mean, even stats
Yep.
show that we've gone over on this channel. So what have we been doing really well this year to kind of bridge that gap and to, be on the up and up?
Most of the time, staying in games, like you said, the losses have been a lot less. Like games against like Raiders and the previous Panthers game that we played, previous years not that close. They heads down, points get put on, and it's just not a good watch. In terms of like trying to stay in games, they've been really good, and I feel like they've been using the forwards really well. Like Terrell's been awesome for us, and then I feel like Polly's come along really well with Terrell. So I feel like we've been using the middle of the field a lot better, kind of win our battles through there more often than not now, as opposed to getting run over. So I've been really, really liking that.
That's awesome, mate. That's so sick. Um, if we had to choose a different captain, that isn't Luai or Appy, who were you choosing?
Oh, Twali,
Twali.
absolutely,
Yeah, I mean,
without
yeah.
a doubt, without a doubt.
How's
I've
that?
always, well, I've always been a big believer playing footy. All of my captains that I've ever had, whether it was junior footy, like rep footy or whatever, they were all middles. So I'm a massive believer in like following your big boys forward. So it would be Twali. He's obviously probably the leader of our pack with maybe Trolls in terms of not just in terms of stats, but he's just been there. He loves the Tigers. He loves the club. He loves
Hmm.
Benji. So I feel like having a captain that represents everything you want your club to be is probably the most important thing as opposed to it being your best or your most high played player. The only issue is obviously Twali doesn't play the full 80. So
Mm, definitely. And then a couple fun questions to wrap us up. Do you have kids?
do I have kids? No,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
no.
eventually, if you did end up having kids or even dogs or whatever, if you had to choose one of the players that had the, babysit or dog sit or whatever it is, who are you choosing and why?
Ooh. It's got to be Sania or it's got to be Twali. I don't know. They seem like the funnest and the happiest and the friendliest. So definitely Sania or Twali, I reckon.
All right. All right. I love it. And then when we win the grand final here in the next 5 to 6 years, that's what I'm calling. I think that's our window.
Yeah, I
What
agree. I agree.
what tattoo are you getting, dude? What West Tigers tattoo are you getting?
It's got to be the logo on the back, just a big one
Just a
right
big
across
one?
the back. Yeah, yeah. You gotta go big or go home.
Are you
So
going the OG logo or the new one?
no, I like the new one a lot actually.
The new one's
I
pretty
like
clean.
the simplistic like simplicity of it. The white, orange, and black. I really really like it. So probably the big logo just straight across the back.
Absolutely. And then the million-dollar question, do you think we will have a good shot at the premiership window in the next few years? If so, what is that going to look like? And who do you think we're going up against?
Ooh, next few years, say 3 years from now, I think we will definitely be playing finals footy, probably around that top four mark, or that yeah top four mark. So obviously, if you're playing finals footy, I think you're in with a chance. Um, oh, it's hard. I reckon against the Dogs. The Dogs are building. I reckon they're going to build a bit of a dynasty there. Whether or not they win the comp in this year or next year, I think they're probably going to be the most dominant team in the next couple of years.
Oh, there would be nothing better than destroying the doggies in a grand final and
I
putting it in
hate the
the man
Dogs.
house. Yeah, the man who shall remain nameless, putting it in his face and be like, dude, you should have been here.
Yeah, you should have. If you stayed, you would have had one.
Exactly. That would be so freaking sick. Well, Jordan,
Yeah.
thanks for jumping on, mate. Do you have any questions for me or anything you want to ask the fans of the channel? Yeah, fire away.
Mainly, how many games do you usually get to watch living over in the US? That's my
Yeah.
big question I've always wondered.
Yeah. So I mean, this year I've watched, I want to say 8 or 9 games. Like we've watched a lot of games.
Hmm.
There's a few reasons that I don't watch games. Like last night, this game was on for me at like 3:15 a.m. or something.
Yeah,
And so those games I try not to watch. It's just crazy. And we have a big weekend this weekend, so I'm like probably won't get up. But there's games that start at midnight for me. There's games that start at
Ooh.
like 5 a.m. Those are the good ones where I can get up,
Yeah,
watch, and then just go on with my day. Some start at 2, so those ones I'll stay up. But yeah, I mean, earlier on in the season, I was streaming each and every game, but and then to watch it, you got to like have this thing called watchnrl.com. It's only in America, and it's like $100 like every couple months. It's wild. I'm like, it's super pricey to watch it, but it's worth it. So I don't
yeah.
know. It's I try and watch as many as I can, but there's only so much I can watch between, the subscription part and then just the timing part. But yeah.
All right, all right. I got one more for you, a bit more of a
Yeah.
controversial one.
Oh,
Do you think Luai is staying? And if so, would you want him to stay or would you want him to go?
man, that is a $1 million question. I genuinely do feel like Luai will stay. I think he's made that pretty clear that he loves what we're doing, loves Benji. But do I want him to stay? It's hard to say. On the days that he's working well, I do. I really do. But the
Yep,
day,
yep,
like I've been saying this all season, we need him to lead the team, right? And I
yep.
just feel like we haven't seen that premiership leadership out of him yet, really, like on a consistent basis. And so if we're going to be, putting all this money, was it like $1.3 million at this guy, I need to see him lead. And if not, I want a different leader. Like, I think having a different captain, hence why I asked the question, would be a good idea. So he can just solely focus on meshing with his other half, Latu, and then meshing with the team and just playing footy and just not having to worry about leadership within the game. Now, I think he obviously is a leader, but just give him a little bit to like just adjust and to just mesh and bond with the boys. I think that could be a solid way of approaching it next year, like having someone like Twiley or having someone, I mean, even goodness like Sanua Taruva step up and be a leader, like
Yeah.
having those guys lead and just try something different and then let Appy just absolutely tear it up and not have to worry about, leading the boys and just set the pace and the rhythm. I think, yeah, that would be the way to do it. So if he can lead, definitely keep him. If he can't lead, either get the leadership on someone else, or yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's the man for the job for the Tigers. There are so many other guys out there, but that's just my opinion, and it is
Yep.
super controversial.
No, that's okay. I got another one that I've just thought of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
alongside that topic. If Luai does leave, what half would you like to see the to step inside along Latu? Like any half, like I guess contracts obviously matter, but
Right, right.
anything available.
Trying to think who's out there. I mean, we've got Jock coming back. That's going to be huge. He could definitely step in if things went south really quick next season. We also
Yep,
have
yep.
Jaden Sullivan we've loaned out that is back.
Is he
Um,
coming back? I heard
he's,
that he wanted to stay.
he wanted to stay, but I think the Rabbitohs got rid of him because he broke his leg or whatever, from what I
Yep,
understand. So I
yep.
don't I don't see Rabbitohs keeping him around with that. So
No,
if
that's
that's
fair.
the case, he'll be coming back. We'll have him. Just trying to think who else we got. I would honestly love to see Tristan Hope. I don't think I would go externally. I really don't. I think we have enough in our up and coming. I think I'd put Tristan Hope in just to see how that goes. That way he gets the
Yep.
first grade experience. But I mean, we got some solid guys coming through as well. But that way you get Jared Hayward a crack in the number 9 or number 14. So yeah, I think I'd go internally. I'd probably move Dewey over there, especially with Kai Pierce-Paul coming through. Yeah, probably Dewey for the little bit. I think we have options to figure it out and run some
Yeah.
things and see if there's any interest. I really wanted, what was his name? Jonah Glover from the Dragons.
Oh, yep, yep,
I
yep, yep.
really, really wanted him to come over, but
He
we
looks
didn't
good.
get.
I've seen some of the cup games. He looks really, really good,
I
actually.
know he looks so solid, and
Mm.
yeah, he was looking for his big NRL debut, like full time. So I think we didn't sign him. I don't know why we didn't. We really should have. I don't know if we did, and we just like threw a contract and didn't get any bites. But that would have been a
Yeah.
super solid setup. Adam Reynolds obviously was a talk for a bit, but he's staying where he's at. I wasn't too keen on him coming unless it was for a mentorship type thing, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd go internal, see what we got. We've got enough depth, I think, to figure something out for the time being, especially in preseason until we got things sorted. But yeah, what about you?
I if Dewey ends up staying, I actually think our best halves combination all year has been Dewey and Latu.
Absolutely.
I think I think they together. I don't know if they just understand how to play together or it's just the way they play footy that makes sense together. But we've looked at most potent when they're attacking together. When Latu's handing the ball out to Dewey and Dewey's taking on the line. But if Dewey moves on, I really want to see that young kid that I've heard rumored that I think his name is Javon, the under 19s rookie
Oh,
from the Queensland team.
yeah.
He's looking good. I've seen a few clips of him. So I feel like, because I personally feel like we're not going to start playing our best footy until this Luai contract clause situation is handled. He's either leaves or he takes up his option next year and we figure it out. I feel like the next start of next year might still be a little bit rough for us,
Yeah.
maybe. But if that's the case, I feel like we just need to invest and just go young and just, if Latu's the answer, give Latu multi years. And if we end up finding a young half and we just want to build something at the club, just give him a couple of years. Don't have to sign him a big money. Just give him a couple,
Yeah.
just length over like amount and just try and develop something as opposed to this chopping and change. Because I think, well, we've had like 8 halves combinations this year, something ridiculous. Like I know the
It's
Knights
been
have
crazy.
same issue, but obviously losing Ponga and Sharp is a little different. But yeah, we just need to figure something out and just stick to it and just let the boys play footy because our team gets changed often enough, I think.
Yeah,
To
yeah. I mean, if contracts and money were no issue, I'd probably try and throw money at Luke Metcalf, man, like over at Warriors there.
oh, absolutely, I love
I
Luke
think
Metcalf.
him and Latu would absolutely tear it up. And I mean,
Yeah,
even Toby
absolutely.
Sexton, when he was got kicked out of the Bulldogs or whatever, I'm like, we should be signing him. Like,
Don't even get me
put
started on that. Oh, when I heard he signed at Catalans and we didn't even offer him anything, I'm so
yeah,
disappointed.
wasn't that
So
crazy?
disappointed.
So I don't know. I think we've had opportunities to sign big halves that were really going to do great things, but the fact we didn't makes me think maybe there's something going on behind the scene where Luai probably is just going to stay,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
great, but we just got to figure it out. What does that look like for him? Is he our leader, or is he just someone that needs to be able to play good footy with his mates on that field and not worry about the leadership aspect of it? So, yeah, I think there's lots up in the air about it, but yeah, man, it's so hard to say. I do agree. I think next season at the start is going to be a little shaky while we figure things out, especially if Luai ends up leaving. Like
Yeah, it's
that's going to be something that it's going to suck, but we'll figure it out. We always do.
it's gonna be mid-season madness all over again as soon as it
Oh
comes up to
man.
that. I'm telling you.
Oh
But
man.
it's
Well,
it's been like that for years. So
exactly. It'll be worth
yeah.
it though. Sweet man. Well, do you own a business or a social media or anything that you want to plug?
Nah, I'm not really big on socials, and my
Cool.
stuff I do is small in the background anyway. So
Cool, cool. Not a problem.
yeah,
Just wanted to check and
awesome.
make sure that you didn't want to plug anything. All right,
Nah,
sweet Tigers
all good,
fans.
bro.
Well, thanks Jordan for coming on. The JJ crew, let's go. And yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If Luai were to leave, who replaces him, or do we keep him? Let us know in the comments below. And Jordan, thanks for jumping on, mate. This has been a pleasure. We'll have to do it again.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, anytime. All right, you take it easy, mate.
You too, brother. See you later.